Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If we haven't met yet, my name is Melissa. I am a brand designer by day and a handmade product business owner by night. And on this channel, I love to talk about all things design, small business, handmade business, and those kind of things. Share with you what I've learned along the way, hoping maybe it'll help you. Today, I thought it might be fun to take you guys on a little bit of tour of what I keep in my craft show bins. I am wrapping up for the season, and before I put everything in its final home to be stored away for the heat of the Arizona summer, we don't do craft shows through the summer here, I thought maybe I would show you everything in hopes that maybe it can help out someone who's just starting out, or maybe even if you're a veteran of doing craft shows and markets, you might learn a new tip or two. I know I am forever picking up little tips from other vendors. So let's go out to my garage and see what's in my craft show bin. Welcome to my garage, guys. I store all of my craft show things out in my garage. I do store a lot of products inside, but I store all my bins that I take to shows out here in the garage, and I like to leave them all kind of pre-packed with stock. So we're gonna kind of go through everything. I'll show you the stock bins, but I'll probably concentrate the most on the bins that have kind of like all the little tools and tricks for having a smooth market. I'll show you what's in all of those. Most of my craft show items are all kind of located over here in my garage. I've kind of got my show stock that I keep in these cubbies, and then these are my display fixtures, although I actually don't use those anymore. And then over here, if I have to use my tent, there's my tent, but y'all know I hate using my tent, but I do use my umbrella all the time. This is my greeting card rack, my umbrella stand if I need weights. This is kind of where the craft show things are. So let's pull it out and I'll show you what's in everything. This little bin is where I keep my art prints, and we will go through these. This is the greeting card bin. Here's the bin with all my packaging in it for customer orders. And then I don't always bring this one, but this one has some additional supplies in it also. And so we're gonna see what's in here and if there's anything of use. This one's one of my favorites. I keep all of my accessories in this little bin. I'm not gonna pull this one down because it's not really a bin. This is my pegboard box that I've shown you guys many times. This sits on my display. But I transport my earring holder, my sticker tray, that's another carded earring holder, and my tablecloth. I kind of just shove it all in here for transport. Okay. I'm just chilling on the garage floor right now. Boy, am I glad we're doing this today, and I didn't wait to do this video because it's gonna be like 93 here today, and I am already like sweating here, just pulling these few things out. So I am glad that I did this now and did not wait to do this till another time. And I'm sorry if you see me mess with my bangs. I'm on second day bangs, and they're driving me bananas. So let's go through the boxes. I'm gonna show you stock boxes first because they're the most boring, and then I'll go through kind of like my fixtures and things like that second, because that's probably where a little bit of the gold is for you guys, maybe some fun new tips. Okay, so the first bin I've got here is my greeting card bin, and it's a mess actually right now. I just flopped greeting cards in here the other day. Okay, so all my greeting cards, I keep them all lined up in this bin in 2 rows. I've got some other things that I also keep in here, but for the most part, it's 90% greeting cards. The other things that I keep in here as I keep our little mini prints, and then I also keep the little display that I use for our mini prints in here as well. Just fits kind of nice. I can't remember how many card SKUs we have right now. I want to say it's about 30. So I keep about a case of each card SKU in here, so 6. Some I'll do a little bit more. I would say there's anywhere from 6 to 10 of each design in here. Of course, the top selling designs, I always try to make sure I've got more like 8 or 10 in here because I know I'll go through them a little quicker. All right, so it's bin number 1, kind of boring, sorry. Bin number 2, art prints, also gonna be a little on the boring side. So we've got our art prints in here. This one is looking a little on the empty side right now. I just stocked them up in one of these same size bins. Now I have talked about these bins in another video, and I will link that up here. I never know what side the link goes on, so it's gonna be up here. I'll link to that video about my easy market setup and how everything kind of Tetrises together to make as few trips as possible. But I just keep our art prints in here. I try to usually start the season with 2 of each design, and through the season, things get a little off. I do try to restock when I know something's sold or when I see the bin starting to get a little bit low, but The goal is usually 2 of each design. We've got about 25 designs, so I bring about 50 art prints. I don't usually sell 50 art prints, but that way I've got variety and I can sell more than one of something. If you have fewer SKUs, you could probably bring more of each design. We've got a little breeze going here, so I hope it's not too distracting in the background, and we've got some cars going by. Hopefully they're not too distracting. The other things I keep in this bin is I also keep our key rings, which I keep them in one of these little floss bins, and I just divide by color. I usually try to keep this pretty full, like I think full is maybe like 5 or 6 of each color. So that's usually what I try to do. I just came from an event last weekend where the key rings were very popular, so we are full-blown missing some right now. But that's okay because I'm packing out for this season, so I'm actually gonna be emptying this later on today. But I keep this, I just kind of put it right on the top of the art prints. Okay, so that was art prints and greeting cards. Let me show you this divided bin. This is gonna be a little hard to hold up, especially without spilling everything, but I'll do a little pan over it also. If I remember right, this is called a media case, and I got it from the Container Store. If I can find a link, I'll try to link a few of these things in the description if I can. I know these bins that are my favorite, I can't find them anywhere anymore at this size. You can find latching bins, but they're more the boot box size. These are just the tiniest bit smaller than a boot box, which fits perfect in my cart, but I can't find them anywhere. So sorry, I can't link those. I can link the boot box style though. I'll try to remember to do that. So in here, I keep all kinds of things. So I keep all of our carded earrings, which is what you're hearing flopping around right now. I have 2 sections for carded earrings, and I made these little gridded pieces of wood that kind of keep them from falling all over the place. So then I stick them in there, and so I'll fill them all up. And usually if I've got 4 of these little things in here, 2 in each cubby. And usually if I have all 4 of these filled, then I know I've probably got enough earrings for most shows. All right, so that's what's in cubby number 1 and cubby number 2. Cubby number 3 has mini hoops in it, and these are just flopped in there. I try to keep like 2 to 3 of each color. I've got them in 2 different size hoops too, so I usually try to do for sure 1 of each size per color. So 2 of each color. And there's a couple that tend to sell a little faster than others. And so lots of times I'll just flop an extra 1 or 2 of those in there. And then the next cubby has our large hoop earrings in it. And again, they're just flopped in there. I've got 2 styles of these. One style has 5 colorways. The other style has like, I think 10 colorways. So my rack holds 12, I think. Oh, and then I have a second style that has 2 colorways. So that would be 17 total colors, I think. I just try to for sure have 1 of everything when I start, usually. Gets a little mixed up halfway through craft show season. There's a couple that tend to sell faster that I usually drop a second one in just in case, but they're literally just in a pile in this cubby. Next, we've got, in the next cubby, I've got our little stud earrings, and again, they're just plopped in there. I've got 5 colorways of these, and I usually try to have maybe like 3 pairs of each because these are pretty popular. And there's only 5 styles of them, so if I only had 1 or 2, that would be a pathetically small amount of inventory to take with me. In the next cubby, this one right here, these are my magnets, which I don't actually take to normal craft shows. I take these usually at the holidays because people love them for stocking stuffers and small gifts for coworkers and things like that. But I don't usually carry them just random craft show in the spring, unless it's gonna be a high tourist attraction, which is why I took them to that event last week, because that was, everyone was from out of town. The whole point of us being there was for them to get souvenirs. So I took magnets and they were very popular. But what normally lives there are my bookmarks. And my bookmarks, I take probably like at least 10 of each. I've got 4 designs of paper bookmarks and 2 designs of brass bookmarks. And what I do is I take a stack of them and then I use these little binder clips to just clip them together so that they aren't flying all over the place and the designs aren't getting all mixed up. I think I sold almost all of one style of brass bookmark last week. Again, popular with the tourists. But those are what my brass bookmarks look like. I've got 2 designs. Okay, so then in the next cubby, I have our stickers and our business cards. So the stickers I put in this little bin and I just line them all up. I usually take about 10 of each sticker. And this little thing fits perfectly in one of these cubbies. And then I've got my business cards, and these I just set on top of it. Now we're starting to get into non-product items. In the next cubby, I've got my bin of hooks. So these are my pegboard hooks that I put on my pegboard box. I've kind of figured out how many I need, and then I just put 1 or 2 extra in for just in case. And then I've got these hooks, which are slightly different. These I use on a pegboard that I hang my carded earrings on. That pegboard's a little thinner, and so these wobble around less than these. Okay, now we're getting into some of the fun tips. Some things I always keep with me. I've got some random signage that I almost never use, but I keep it with me. If you ever just want to do like a flash sale, like sometimes around Christmas, I will go into a market with my ornaments full priced. And then, especially if it's getting to be the tail end of the season, sometimes like after lunch when things are gonna slow down, I'll like put them on sale. So I keep like an ornament sale sign in here. I keep just a couple different sale signs in here of sales that I do occasionally. That way I don't have to remember to put it in before the market. It just lives here. I also have a bunch of little clothespins. So these are a bigger clothespin that I have in here. I will sometimes stick price signs to those. They also come in handy sometimes to just lock things down that are blown around. Along the same lines, I keep a whole nother bag of these little mini clothespins. These are even minier yet. These guys, I clip these on my pegs when it's a windy day. I clip them in front of the product on the peg, and that way it keeps the product from blowing off the peg. Because if your product's not very heavy, my carded earrings aren't heavy, my bookmarks aren't heavy, those things, you have no idea how many times those have blown off the hooks. Here's a fun little tip. Sometimes the stud earrings, I will put them in a dish, and when I do that, they like to blow out if it's a windy day. So I keep a couple of these clear bowl covers, you know, that you would use for like bringing a bowl of fruit to a picnic or something. I keep a couple of them in here in case I'm using the bowl method and the wind strikes up, or rain, because they're all on paper cards. So I just keep these things in my box so that I have them ready if I ever need them. Other things I have in this box that are very helpful. This is a bag of clear elastic bands, and these I use on my card rack when it's windy and I don't want the cards to blow away. These came in handy last weekend. So I've just measured my racks and I've used just the thickest width that I can find of like a jewelry elastic, and I just tie it in a really good knot, and I'm anal retentive, so I have labeled it with what tier number it is, because all your tiers are going to be different sizes because lots of racks go like this, right? So this one at the top is going to be a smaller band than the second row. Also, since I measured these, I switched racks, and so last week when I was using this, those little clothespins came in handy because I just clamped these things to the rack so that they wouldn't slide around. I have had these in my box for like 5 years. I cannot tell you how handy these are. I've even used them. I'll sometimes wrap them around my pegboard box to keep the bookmarks from flying off. I don't know why I wasn't using clothespins. That would be a better option. I should remember to use the clothespins next time. But this works too. Kind of just traps them in with a little clear band. I always keep these in here. These are forever with me all the time. Can't tell you how many times they've saved my life. I keep a tiny little dish for random things in here, and I keep a mirror for customers to look at earrings or whatever in here. So this is the box of goodness, you guys. It's got all the fun products in it, and it's got all the like really helpful little tools in it that I've just over time realized these I need to have with me. Okay, fixtures and packaging box. Not exciting from this view because the bags are right on top. Okay, so first and foremost, we've got bags. I have bags in 2 sizes. I have, this one is I think it's like a 10 by 14. This fits my art prints nicely. And then this is what I use the most of, which is a 9 by 12. I sell the most like greeting cards, stickers, small accessories like bookmarks, key rings, earrings, things like that. And so I go through these like water. And here's a hot tip. If you've ever got kind of a not busy part of a market, go through and just pre-put your business card in here so you don't have to grab a business card every time you're bagging something. If I'm at a dull market, I'll put business cards in this whole entire bag of bags. Okay, we've got email sign-up sheet. I used this when I first started, and I don't even remember how it went. And then I stopped. And I'm so dumb to have stopped because I started back using this a year or so ago, and people sign up. I don't even promote it. I just let it sit at the end of the table, kind of by my stickers, and people sign up. And so it's a good way to grow your email list. So if you're not doing that, do it. I mean, you probably won't get like 25, but you might get 5 at every event. And if someone, without even being prompted, is signing up, you know they love your stuff and want to hear about it. So definitely do that. I keep a little bag of sanitizing wipes, mainly because, is it just me, or by the time you get everything set up, your hands feel disgusting? So then I've got a bunch of displays. This is, I've got this little wood tray. I've got a few different wood trays in here. This guy, I lots of times put my little mini hoops on here and kind of line them up. I also keep, actually, sometimes I put the mini hoops in this one too. This one's just a little deeper. Sorry guys, I'm getting antsy over here. My bottom is going numb. Been putting my studs into a slatted wood thing. One of these little guys. We've all seen them for jewelry. I change it up all the time with those studs. I'll do one thing for like 6 months or a year and it works really well. And then all of a sudden I notice it's like not working as well. And so then I just switch to displaying them a different way and it's like they get more attention again. I don't know what the story is behind that, but that's what I notice happening. Other things, I keep these little pillow boxes in here. If you don't know what a pillow box is, these little ends fold in and it pops up. It's not a super durable box, but it's a slightly durable box. I put earrings in here, especially if they're a stud back, like my little studs, or if it's a dangle with a stud back versus a hook, because I learned the hard way when I first started selling earrings that people would be like, oh, it's just a tiny little card of earrings. I'll put it in my purse. And then it ends up at the bottom of the purse, smashed by keys, phone, and whatever else is in there. And at the end of the day, you get a text saying, my earring broke or it's bent or something. And it's maybe not my fault, but you feel awful. You don't want this person to have just bought this thing and not even get to use it. So I literally force them on people. People are like, I'll just put it in my purse. I'm like, no, you won't. You will put it in this box and then put it in your purse because I don't want to make you another pair for free. But this is nice because it kind of gives a little protection similar to a jewelry box. If I took 20 or 30 jewelry boxes to every craft show, that would be a whole entire bin, like so much space. So these are called craft pillow boxes. I just stamp my logo onto them. I'll put these in the links as well. All right, next, got another wood bowl. 2 of those I keep in there. I just kind of keep a few fixtures because every now and then I bring something new and fail to plan for what I'm going to put it in. So if I just keep a couple extra little dishes and things like that, it helps me be able to rearrange on the fly if I need to. Last things that I keep in here, I do not keep a cash box. This is my cash box, because I pretty much only take bills, not change. I'll take, if someone wants to give me exact change, that's fine. When I give people back change, I just always tell them, I don't have a lot of change, so we do a lot of rounding here. We get as close as we can. Sometimes that means I end up giving someone a few cents extra back. Sometimes that means I shortchange them by a nickel. I just do whatever's the closest, and people are usually very understanding. They're not usually worried about a nickel. This is just like a little accordion envelope thing from the dollar store. I'll try to remember to link something like that too, just in case you're in a dollar store really close to you. Oh, now I'm really giving away the goods. This is my little pouch of goodness. Let's see what's in here. This is where some good tips come in. Okay, so always keep a phone charger. Even though places don't usually have electric, you never know. You just might need it. I keep some hand lotion, again, because your hands sometimes feel disgusting by the time things are set up. I actually keep this super old school swipe reader in here that just plugs in just in case something happens with my phone where like I can't get any internet. I literally have not used this in so long that I don't even know. Maybe it doesn't even work anymore. Maybe Shopify doesn't even take it. Keep some Kleenex. I keep a fan, like a hand fan. Every now and then you just find yourself, maybe it wasn't even supposed to be hot, but you find yourself in like a really stuffy spot or smack in the middle of the sun or something. I also keep this is for, you draw it on dollar bills to see if they're real. I usually only use this if someone's giving me like 100 or 50. And sometimes I just flat out don't even take the 150 because seriously, man, if you're carrying around $100, you can just give me a credit card. And then this is probably a really weird thing. I keep toupee tape in here. It's a double-sided heavy-duty stick tape. I keep a couple pieces of this in here along with a jackknife. Jackknife? Is that what this is called? My aunt gave me this so long ago and I never knew what I was gonna do with it until I started doing craft shows and I'm like, oh, this is handy. She's got the knife. Wow, I hope I don't get in trouble for showing this on camera. I'm not sure if this is legit. Nail file, I mean, critical. And then the thing I probably use the most, it's got a little scissor on it. So like I can cut that toupee tape with this. I can cut zip ties if I ever use zip ties with this. Handy, so handy. So I keep all of those things just in this little pouch of goodness. Other things that are in here, hand sanitizer. I keep this little cork thing that I can prop my mirror in here if I want to, or I can prop a sign in here. Sometimes I just need to prop things. Card reader, of course. This is hilarious because I live in the desert, but I'm a giant wimp in the winter. I keep gloves in this box so they're ready for those winter craft shows. A few zip ties, never know when you're gonna need those. I do have this little follow on Instagram sign, which, hey, I'll put that here if you want to follow me on Instagram. I almost never put it out though, just because there's not room. That is this bin of goodness. So that probably had the best tips in it right there for you. So let's just quick put it all back here. And then last but not least, this is my wild card box. And I actually can't remember what's in here because I almost never bring this, but I used to bring this. So this has stuff in it that I have used before that I am apparently not currently using. I've been really bringing a minimal setup these days, you guys. It also might just have some things in it that are things that I know I pull out like once or twice a year, but don't do every day, which is right here on the top. So I've got some Velcro straps. These I use the 1 or 2 times I use a tent each year. I will bring a pegboard to hang from my tent and put earrings on. That way I can show way more earrings. And I use these S-hooks and a PVC pipe to hang it from my tent. Let me know if you want to see a little demo of that, although I probably won't be soon because I am not setting that tent up anytime soon. Like I said, I don't usually bring this bin, but this is handy. A hat with my logo on it. Because do you ever find yourself squinting, but you put your sunglasses on, but then you feel separated from the customer? And so sometimes I find a hat helps that. You kind of get the sun out of your eyes, but you're not having to like conceal your eyes from connecting with people. These are the pegs that I would use on that hanging pegboard. They're longer 2-inch ones. Bungee cords. This is also part of the whole hanging pegboard thing. I will bungee these to a weight to keep that board from flopping. I'm telling you guys, if you're gonna do craft shows, you guys gotta be like DIY handy, and you can come up with some pretty slick setups. So on that hanging pegboard, this is the hanging pegboard box. So on the hanging pegboard, I've got a rack that I had cut from acrylic, and it's kind of offset, and I hang my hoops on there. This is spare hardware for the offset in case I like lose a bolt somewhere in the setting up process. I keep, this is lame, this is random, a pillowcase. I keep a pillowcase in here. You know how you put everything back in the cart? I use a table space a lot of times, so that means my cart's just kind of hanging out in the sun or the rain or whatever. I have this with me to just like cover it with, so that whatever's left in there isn't just baking or getting wet or whatever. Okay, here's a gem that I might be able to link because I did get this on Amazon. If you're someone who likes to do a table setup with an umbrella, this is called Bench Buddy. You put your umbrella in here, and then I actually think I do it this way, and then you clamp this to your table. I do still use an umbrella stand, but this keeps it like anchored to the table. The downside is if you tip your umbrella back to like keep the sun off your back, do not step away from that umbrella without tipping it back up because it will act as a sail. I've had it happen 2 or 3 times. One time it did take my whole table out. 2 times it just almost did, and I caught it at the last second. But this is kind of handy. I've had lots of people at craft shows ask me where they got it. So if they do still have it on Amazon, I will link it. And then the last things that are in here is clear tarp, because my products are made of paper and mounted on paper. So if it unexpectedly rains, that is bad news for me. So I keep a tarp and 2 rain ponchos. I must have been packing for a friend. These are some phone chargers that I keep in here, which I haven't used these in forever. I've actually never really had to use them. So sometimes I just charge them up, but I'm like, will they work if I need them? Who knows? And then clips. Keep some like full size, regular size clothespins. This is like a chip clip. This is really nice because it's got a really big space right here, which means it can go around a lot. I have found so many times them to be helpful. So I only have this one in here right now. Oh, you know what? I didn't show you one last thing, which is another bag of goodness that lives in this bin. And this has clips, all kinds of clips. I keep the whole roll of that stretchy cord. It is 1 millimeter is what it is, 1 millimeter. So I keep what I didn't use for those already in here in case I need more. Another cable that actually doesn't even work with anything I have anymore, so we're gonna just take that out. Take this opportunity to clean this bin a little bit. I keep a little tube of sunscreen. Eye drops. I've got some Advil in here. I've got a little stand for like a price sign. That's about what's in this bin. Yeah, that was the bin of random stuff, but I kind of know other things that I occasionally have to grasp for are in here. It's not with me very often, but it does live in a very accessible spot in my garage. Okay, so that's everything that's in my bins. If you want to see how this all plays out, I do have that video that I linked prior. I'll see if I can link it here. I don't know if they let me link a video 2 times, so if it doesn't pop up, I couldn't do it. It's just my super simple market setup, and it talks about how I've designed it to slat together in my cart so that I can get everything in like a 1 cart trip. I don't use a tent 90% of the time. So if I use a tent, I usually do have to make 2 trips because 1 trip is with the tent and the weights. But I can fit everything else in the cart, including my table. So go ahead and watch that video. If you thought this one was interesting, you'll probably find that one interesting. I think that's everything. Thanks for watching till the end, you guys. Really appreciate it. If you loved this, I would love it if you could like this video. That's super helpful, makes my day. Leave me a comment if you've got other tips of things you always have in your craft show boxes. I would love to hear them because I'm always looking for more and better tips. Feel free to drop that in a comment below. And if you're just in general loving this content, it would mean the world to me if you guys subscribed. Like, I'm a tiny brand new channel. Take pity on a girl. Like, I see every single subscription. I see every single comment. I respond to every single comment. I see every like. So if you want to do that for me, I would love to hear that. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.